Hello and welcome back to another update video. It's been a while, but I've been working on a lot of new things and I'm eager to share. The first thing that I've mainly been working on is completing all the missing AudioLink features. I will be showing them to you in a moment, but before that there's also another big thing that I've been spending a lot of time with, which is working on the expression menu and how all of the presets and animations for the particles are set up. There has been some feedback regarding those things, and especially with all the presets it was getting a bit out of hand, having to deal with all the layers in the animators and especially all the parameters to make it all work properly. So I put a lot of work into trying to find some better solutions for that, which I will be showing you as well at the end of the video. But for now, I'm gonna switch over to a different place so I can show you the new AudioLink features, and I'll see you in a moment. Hello, I went to a different world to show you these new AudioLink settings now. One of the first ones that I added is the ability to control the spawning behavior of particles with AudioLink. So as you can see here, for now it just looks like the color is mainly changing, but you can also adjust the speed at which particles spawn, their position, the age, the lifetime, or also just the amount of particles that can spawn with all kinds of AudioLink values, as you can see. And this is just a very simple example for it, but I also have a bit more complex example, like this one for example, where the different AudioLink frequencies that you can see here on the left correspond to different types of particles. So for example, the lower frequency, the bass, generates these large particles, the higher frequencies make smaller ones that move a bit faster. And that's just one example on how you can use the different frequencies from AudioLink to create all kinds of behavior for the spawning of the particles. Yes. And the other one that I added, this feature, makes it now possible that you can control the simulation of the particles with AudioLink. So right now you can see that the particles move very slow, but every time when the bass frequency is active, the particles speed up, so they go back to their normal speed, so to say. But this is also possible to be changed, so for example the particles can slow down when certain parts of the music are playing, or just the intensity of the music. And yeah, just makes it possible to control the simulation itself with the sound. But yeah, that's it for the new AudioLink features. I think I'm pretty much done with all of the AudioLink stuff for now, but there's a few other things that I worked on, and I will show you those in the other place again. To show you the expression menu, I switched over to first person, so you can see the radial menu here in front of me. This is the new main menu. I can turn on the particles at the bottom. I can reload them on my right hand or reload them on my left hand. I can also drop the attractor on my right hand or drop the one on my left hand. So you can place them in front of you, which is very useful so for some of the presets, like the sun for example. Then I can also switch the presets in this menu here, but the big difference is that instead of having sub-menus for each of the presets, now you can directly switch them like this. So I can switch over to the fire, as you could see. I can directly switch to the snow or switch to the sparkles. And I don't have any extra menu anymore where I have to go into and then activate the preset. If you want to change the settings though, now you have to go over to the settings menu here, and that's where you find most of the settings from the original main menu, but also things like the color, which you can use to change the hue or switch over to the rainbow mode if you're above 50%, or you can change the size of the particles or change the brightness as well. And then you also have this value on the left, the param or parameter value. This one isn't fully implemented yet for most of the presets, but will be used for any kind of individual settings that are different from preset to preset. So for example, for the default preset, this will be used to control the stretchiness of the particles, while for the fire it might be used for the turbulence, or for the snow it will be used for the radius, and so on. So settings that were previously found only in those specific menus can now be adjusted with that parameter slider there. So if I go to the toggles, there's also another thing that's very important now, which is the global settings toggle. Right now, the way the settings work is that when I change the settings here for the default preset, for example to be on rainbow mode, and I go over to the snow preset, and you see the snow is also in rainbow mode. This might be what you want, but in case it is not what you want, you can just turn off the global settings, and now these settings will be saved individually for each of the presets. So I can set the color of the snow to rainbow or to be normal, and when I go back to the default, you'll see I'm back to rainbow again. Or I can go to the fire, and the fire is still normal, but I can change the color of the fire to be blue, for example. But this won't affect any of the other presets, and I can also change all of the other settings here individually for each of these presets. So that's one big difference. And another thing is also that whenever I turn the particles on or off, so for example if I go back to the default now and I turn the particles on and off, it's going to reload them, and it's also going to reload them every time I switch between different presets, as you can see. This is also another thing that you can turn off. So here on the right I can toggle reload on preset change. So now if I turn the particles on or off, you can see they stay in the same location where they were before I toggled them. Or I can also, for example, go to the fire, spawn in some of the fire, and then I can switch over to the snow, and I have a huge pile of snow in front of me, which then just slowly starts to fall around me instead. Or I can switch back to the fire now, and then I have the fire particles all around me. So this can be another thing that you can toggle however you prefer it. And then lastly, you can also change if you want to have the reload on the left or right hand by default. So if I go back to the default settings now, you can see whenever I switch, it's gonna respawn them on my right hand. But if I go over and set the default reload to left hand, then whenever I switch, it's gonna reload them on my left hand. Yep. And that's pretty much it for now. This is all that I have changed for the expression menu. If you have any questions about it or any feedback, please let me know. Everything that you've seen here is still subject to change. I'm still actively working on it, but hopefully it's gonna make things a lot easier and a lot more streamlined in the future. That's everything I have to share for now. There are still a few more things I have to work on regarding the presets and making all of them work right with the new animation system and expressions menu, especially all of those individual settings that the presets used to have. I want to make sure that at least some of the big ones I take over to the new animation system, but I also want to make the installation process for the presets a bit easier. That's why I've been working on a script that automatically creates all of the assets that you need to install exactly the right presets that you want to use. So for example, if you just want to use all of them, it will generate the required assets that you can just drag onto your avatar. Even if you're not using VRC Fury, I know that right now it's very complicated and tedious to do the installation for the presets. That's one of the reasons why I want to make that script. So even for manual install, you'll be able to just drag in a few assets and won't have to go through all the layers, for example, to adjust dozens of values. And it's also gonna make things a lot more optimized as well, because the animation control and everything is gonna be set up exactly right for the presets that you want, and nothing more, nothing less. So yeah, that's all the things that I still have to work on, and I will share with you as soon as I have more things to show. But until then, thanks for watching, and as always, if you want to test out any of these features early, you can consider becoming a Patreon. A big thanks to all my Patreons right now. I am really appreciative of your support, and I hope you're looking forward to new things and the next release, and I will see you soon. Have a nice day.